Hey everybody, this is TJR. It's official. The details on the 50th anniversary re-release of the Beatles' The White Album have been made public. In addition, 2 advanced singles have just dropped on all streaming services. I'm going to be talking about these 2 advanced singles and my reaction to them and how I feel this compares to the original 2009 release. But first, I do want to talk about the actual details about the release. Now, some months back when it was first announced that we would be getting a 50th anniversary release and that there would, of course, be a box set edition, just like there was with the Sgt. Pepper 50th anniversary release, I made the statement that the White Album does not need another remastering and that the only way this would be made worthwhile, aside from, of course, all the usual bonus features, would be to do a complete remix in the same way that was done with Sgt. Pepper. And it turns out that we are definitely getting that. Giles Martin is doing a new stereo remix of the White Album. In addition, I want to add that on this channel, when I first talked about this release, a lot of people who commented said that also they wanted to get the Escher House demos in this release. And you're getting that too. You're also going to get a whole lot of other extras too, and let's talk about those now. The 50th anniversary re-release of the White Album will be coming out in 4 different editions. First, there will be the Super Deluxe 7-disc edition. There will also be a 3-CD deluxe edition, a 2-LP edition, and a 4-LP deluxe edition. I'm going to start with the Super Deluxe 7-disc set. Discs 1 and 2 will, of course, feature the new 2018 remix by Giles Martin. CD 3 will contain the Escher demos, and these will be at tracks 1 through 19, sequenced in order of the finished song's placement on the White Album. In addition, the notes here state tracks 20 through 27 were not included on the album. So I take this to mean that the Escher Demos disc will have 27 tracks, the first 1 through 19 mirroring the original album order, and then the remaining just in whatever order, I assume. CDs 4, 5, and 6 are entitled Sessions and will include 50 additional recordings, most of them previously unreleased, from the White Album studio sessions, all newly mixed from the 4-track and 8-track session tapes, sequenced in order of their recording start dates. Now, Disc 7 is a Blu-ray, and this will contain the following. It will contain the 2018 album mix in high resolution. Also, it will contain 2 5.1 audio mixes of the 2018 remix, and then also a direct transfer of the album's original mono mix. A hardcover book is also enclosed, although there's really no details about what that will contain, but I'm going to assume it's probably going to be very similar to what we got with the Sgt. Pepper 50th Anniversary Deluxe set. That hardcover book, of course, giving fans a whole lot of unseen photos and essays and just information regarding the making of the album and its place in history. Of course, all original album packaging will be enclosed as well. The Super Deluxe 7-disc set currently lists on Amazon.com here in the United States for $179.98. Of course, these prices can be subject to change. Originally, the Sgt. Pepper Super Deluxe edition listed for around roughly $169 on Amazon, but by the time it released, it was down to about $119 approximately. And of course, if you pre-order on Amazon, you're always guaranteed the lowest price, whatever price it drops to after you pre-order it. That's the price you're going to get. I'm going to jump over now to the 3-CD deluxe edition and the 4-LP set, since they will pretty much cover the same material. Now, the 3-CD and the 180-gram 4-LP vinyl box set will contain, of course, the Giles Martin 2018 stereo remix of the original album, and the 3rd disc of the CD set will contain the Escher demos, and disc 3 and 4 of the 4-LP set will also contain the Escher demos. The 4-LP set will, of course, reproduce all the packaging from the original album. The 3-CD set will come with a booklet, and just like they did with the Sgt. Pepper Anniversary, I'm assuming the booklet will be an abbreviated version of what the hardcover book is in the larger set. That leaves us, of course, with the 2 LP edition, which is just the 2018 stereo remix of the original album, of course faithfully reproducing all original packaging. It's even going to come with the original black sleeves that the original White Album came with. The Deluxe 3 CD set currently lists for $21.67 on Amazon here in the US. The Deluxe 4 LP edition currently lists for $80.37 on Amazon.com. The 2 LP edition currently lists for $34.08 on Amazon. And once again, all these prices are subject to change and more than likely might go down as we get closer to the November 9th release. Based on everything I've read so far, there's going to be no 2 CD edition that's just simply the 2018 remix of the album. And quite frankly, I think that's a good decision. I don't think that any Beatles fan is going to go just for the remix of the album only. Any Beatles fan is going to want to shell out a little extra to get that 3 CD set and get the CD of the Escher demos. Now, when the Sgt. Pepper 50th Anniversary release was first announced, my initial thought was that I was not going to shell out for the big deluxe edition. I was only going to just buy the 2 CD deluxe edition, and I ended up giving in and buying the big super deluxe edition. I do not regret it one bit. I loved it. So I have a pretty strong feeling I'm going to be going for the big super deluxe edition with all the goo-gaws. I love hearing all the demo stuff. I know some people aren't into it. To me, this is like the bonus features on a Blu-ray. I love checking out these demos, listening to the early versions, listening to the process, how it evolved from one point to another. So to me, this is pretty much a no-brainer. I'm probably going to pick this up, and when I do, I will of course be reviewing every single aspect of it, just like I did with the Sgt. Pepper Super Deluxe set. As I look over these 4 configurations, the only real complaint I have is for the vinyl purists out there. And I'm going to mention right now, I am not a vinyl purist. I do enjoy purchasing and listening to some vinyl, but I'm not huge into it, although I'm slowly getting into it a bit more. But I do feel for the vinyl purists out there who may want to hear what those session discs contain. And the only way they're going to get to do that is if they buy the big, super deluxe edition and then buy the vinyl edition. Personally, I think that the Deluxe 4 vinyl set should also contain CDs of discs 4, 5, and 6 so that vinyl purists can hear those demos without having to buy 2 sets. Of course, once again, a lot of music fans aren't into listening that heavily to outtakes and that sort of thing, so maybe there just wasn't enough market to justify what would have been a higher price set. One other thing I should add, when the Sgt. Pepper 50th Anniversary set was released, Giles Martin mentioned that his guideline was, for the most part, the mono mix of Sgt. Pepper, which is the preferred version by the Fab Four. However, he did add elements of the stereo mix that were unique to the stereo mix and added them to the 2017 remaster. This way you kind of got a little bit of the best of both worlds, the mono and stereo mixes. With this 50th anniversary of the White Album, however, he has stated that it is the stereo mix that is his guideline and not the mono mix. I, for one, am glad to hear this. I love the mono mix of the White Album, but quite frankly, it's not Helter Skelter if I don't hear Ringo say, "I got blisters on my fingers" at the end of Helter Skelter. And it is a nice added bonus with the Super Deluxe Edition that you will get that high-definition Blu-ray audio of the mono mix. So that's my summary on the 4 configurations that will be released on the 50th anniversary remixing of the White Album. Now, let's talk about these 2 advanced singles. Available for streaming right now on Tidal, Spotify, and Apple Music, and YouTube are the new 2018 remix of Back in the USSR and the Escher House demo of the same track. Now, for my comparison, I started with the original 2009 remastering of Back in the USSR and A-B'd back and forth between this new 2008 remix. Since this is streaming, I chose to listen to these on Tidal, since I feel that Tidal offers better audio quality than Spotify. Once again, since this is streaming, I listened to these, I A-B'd these 2 tracks using what I normally would use for streaming, which means I would stream in the car, on my car stereo, and I would stream through earbuds, and also a Bluetooth speaker. Once again, these advanced singles are only available on streaming services, and streaming by its very nature is not going to be as high in audio quality as buying a CD or a vinyl record. So as I listened to the two and went back and forth, the first thing I noticed is that the 2009 remaster is brighter sounding than this new 2018 remix. The 2018 remix is deeper sounding, bassier sounding. In fact, I also listened with a friend who is a big Beatles fan as well, and her first reaction was that it sounded, she said at first, muddier, darker than the 2009 remaster, but also she said a little bit warmer, and I have to agree with it. It does feel a little bit warmer. There is at times a little bit more clarity in the instruments. In the press release information associated with this release, Giles Martin does say that you can't make the White Album sound too good and too hi-fi because it ruins the spirit of the White Album. So he is walking a fine line of trying to bring out more audio definition, but also maintain the roughness and rawness that is the White Album. With that said, those of you who prefer brighter may want to stay with your 2009 edition. But then again, this is only one track that we're listening to right now. As for myself, I didn't really find that I had like a real preference. I saw that there were unique qualities to both versions. However, it's only one song, so at this point I would say that I'm probably going to be getting the Super Deluxe Edition mainly for the extras and bonuses. But then again, it's only one song, so it's really too early to tell. The second advanced single is, of course, the Escher House demo version of Back in the USSR. And let me tell you, this demo release is a hoot to listen to. We've got the Beatles performing the song from start to finish acoustically. I'm pretty sure Ringo is there. For all I know, though, he's just tapping his hands against the body of an open acoustic guitar. I could be wrong about that last remark, but it does feel to me like he's banging his hands against something in this rough demo. I'm also pretty sure that we've got both John and George singing along with Paul in this rough demo as well. In fact, I'm very sure that's John joining Paul, and I'm pretty sure that that's George also singing along with them. What's really fun is when the guitar solo is supposed to kick in, and you actually hear them humming out loud what eventually will be the guideline that George Harrison will use for the guitar solo, provided that is George playing the original guitar solo. I have never really double-checked that. There have been plenty of times on Beatles songs where it's actually Paul McCartney playing the lead guitar solo. But what I like most about this demo is you can feel the fun. You can feel the fun of four people sitting in a room together banging out this song, and it does feel like you're in the room there with them. So definitely this was great to hear, and if the rest of the demos sound this good, that's going to be just a great bonus CD. So at this point, I'm going to ask, what do you think? Are you going to pick up this 50th anniversary remixing? If so, what configuration are you planning on getting it in? And have you heard the two new streaming tracks? What do you think of the 2018 remix of Back in the USSR? Have you compared it to the 2009 remaster? What are your thoughts? And what do you think of the Escher House demo of the same song? Please let me know in the comments. I'm really anxious to hear what y'all think. For those of you who just discovered the channel, please, if you like what I do, be sure to hit subscribe. Be sure to hit the notifications icon so you can know when I release new videos. And to everybody that is a subscriber, just thank you, as always, for watching and for participating. And I also thank you for sharing these videos on your social media. I can't tell you what that does to help the continued growth of this channel. Just you doing those very simple things, clicking like, sharing it on your social media. It just makes a huge difference. Today is September 24th, and the re-release comes out on November 9th. And I'm sure between now and then, we are going to get a couple more advanced tracks. And hopefully we will get them in the same configuration as we did this time, where we get a remix of a song from the White Album and we get the Escher demo alongside it. So when those come out, I will be checking them out, and I will, of course, update my review, so to speak. Everybody, thanks so much for watching, and take care, y'all. Bye-bye.